Okay, this is going to be exploration 2 for 6th grade, where we're looking at evaluating the solutions. So we just finished up our decision matrix, and now it's talking about like going from the very beginning and taking many different solutions and using the matrix. So how to figure out how something's strong, testing a material. You can, of course, watch the video. An engineering team proposes a new water-resistant fabric.
Tensile strength of different materials. A tensile strength test is a standard type of test conducted by engineers during which a sample material is subjected to a controlled amount of a pulling force until the material rips.
Okay, so they're testing the material to see how strong it is, okay? So now imagine that they're testing this for a backpack, right? It needs to be water resistant because backpack can get wet, and you don't want the water to seep in and mess up all of your homework and different materials inside the backpack. So why would it be helpful for them to test everything? Can it help them determine why one is better than the other? Yes. Can engineers use the test to confirm whether fabrics actually work in a real situation? Yeah, they could really test a real situation. Testing can help them discover ways and like figure out which fabrics perform better or worse. Yep. Engineers may use testing to obtain information on ways to improve the performance. So all of that information, it's giving them everything that they need. So I would go ahead and say that it could be all of them.
The solution does not perform as well as expected. In other cases, the solution exceeds the expectations. The testing information is a tool for evaluating possible solutions.
Okay, so you find the solution, and then it's really important that you test them and make a prototype, which is a working test model, to really put it through the test and see how it does, right? And this is kind of the little matrix and systematic steps that they use. So they identify the problem, kind of research it, see if they can like really define the criteria constraints. If they could do that, then they brainstorm, and then they actually test and model. So they find a model, make it, test it, and see how it does. If it passes all the criteria and constraints, then you've got your solution. If it doesn't, then you try again, you brainstorm more. Often 2 or 3 solutions appear to be equally promising. When that happens, it's important to test each design. Why is it important that each of the top designs be tested the same way? Okay, it is very important that tests are done in the same way. This is because it helps to determine the answer to the exact problem being asked. It shows the best solution with no errors or bias. And bias, if you're not sure, it basically means you want to make sure that make sure it's valid, no errors, and makes sure the test is a valid test and that the problem wasn't in the testing. Right? You don't want to see if there's a problem in the testing. You want to make sure you have the best solution. It makes sure that you have the very best solution. You gotta take those top designs and you have to test them in a way that shows that the only correct conclusion would be that this is the best design. You don't want to test them differently on different days with different criteria because then you're not answering the question. Everything has to be the same to truly answer the problem. Okay, when you're testing these solutions, you have to think about every different part of it. So what is the design model? How expensive is it? Multiple testing to ensure that it really truly works before you share your conclusion. So sometimes the solutions can be combined to make a better solution. What's the benefit of combining 2 different solutions for like the ultimate solution? What benefit is that? It allows for the best part of each solution to be used, absolutely. It gives the design team time to redefine the problem. Actually, it makes it so you don't have to redefine the problem. It allows the designers to meet customer demands for a new design every year. That's not really answering the problem, the core problem. So, no. It allows a solution to be developed that is better than earlier solutions. Yes. It allows each test variable to be tested fully. It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is tested fully each and every time. It's just offering a better solution for what you have. Okay, so A and D, and then we're moving on to the math. Group of students is designing a parachute system. They're going to drop this egg from a height of 3 meters, and they don't want to break it. So they're going to use the design matrix that we were looking at earlier. Okay, there's lots of variables when you're trying to do this. I don't know if any of you have done this before, but you have to create a design that's going to make the egg not break, even though it's going from the same height. Okay, so do you want to use cloth, plastic film, or paper? And how big do you want it to be? So they actually tested it out. They took all of them. There was they decided that they tried cloth at 500 or cloth at 1,000 and see kind of how long does it take to reach the floor. So now we have to make a recommendation about the type of material. So when I look at this, I actually am interested in, I want it to take a really long time to reach the floor because I want my egg to, when it touches the bottom, when it touches the ground, have a really soft landing. So the time it takes to reach the floor, I want the most time. So looking at this, the 3.5 is the most time. So I want a plastic film with an area of 1,000 centimeters squared because it will take the longest amount of time. The material that the students should use is the plastic film because it has an area of 1,000 centimeters squared that they can use for testing. It takes the longest time to get to the ground floor, which is good because the egg will have a soft landing. Perfect. All right, a wooden block was used as a model egg to evaluate the parachute design. What could the students do to determine whether it would work on a real egg? So they could use a real egg instead of the wooden block. Then they drop the egg from different heights. This is important because they can see the height at which an egg will immediately break if it doesn't have a parachute, right? So they can just if I have an egg and I drop it from really low on the ground, it's not going to break. But if I know exactly when it breaks, I can have more of a sense of how many seconds I need for the parachute to hold the egg in the air in order for it to survive. Okay, hands-on labs we're not doing right now because of the whole idea that you guys are not able to do it in class and you might not have the material at home. So I'm just scanning through the hands-on lab, but we can engage in an argument from evidence. We can look at all the different pieces. So if they decided to use the plastic film, they built different parachute sizes based on that film, and then they tested them 3 times. So then they came up with an average. Testing 3 times is usually good to come up with an average. So here's my 1,000 again with my 3.5. It still had that really great average. It proved itself to be really consistent. So one student argued that a parachute with a larger area is always better because it has more air resistance. So he's saying like this is the one you should choose because it has the biggest area. But as you could see, even though it has the biggest area, it doesn't take the longest time to reach the floor. So I do not support that argument because the plastic film parachute with 1,000 centimeters squared takes longer to reach the ground, so it has the most air resistance. It has even more air resistance than the parachute with the larger area. 2,000 centimeters can only take 2.1 seconds to fall, which is less time than 3.5 seconds. All right, you just got to make sure you say it very clearly so that you're really explaining the data and how the data does not support his argument. All right, moving on from there. What size parachute would be the most suitable to slow the fall? So we already said 1,000 centimeter square parachute with plastic film takes 3.5 seconds to fall, which is the longest amount of time. That is why my group would use it in the egg drop, right? That's why you would use it in the egg drop, because it takes the longest to fall. The longest time to fall means that the egg won't hit the ground at a fast speed, right? If it takes longer to get down there, it's just going to delicately drop instead of being smashed into the ground. Why is the testing needed before choosing a design? It is important to test so that the design chosen has already shown that it is one of the top solutions and that it has the ability to work. If you don't test beforehand, the egg has no chance because you were not able to see how the fall would really work and fix small problems like the area size or how the egg is being cushioned all around. All right, so it's really important. You got to test and test and test before you decide on your design, because you want to make sure you're not choosing a design that the first time you use it, the egg's going to smash. So this is going to be the end of this video, and then we're going to do another video for taking it further.